In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front brake hose on your Chevy Sonic. It's located behind your front wheel. Anytime you do any sort of hydraulic work for your brakes, it's a good idea to press your brake pedal down and hold it there with your seat. It's good to do that so you don't lose all the fluid, and it also makes it easier when it's time to bleed the brakes. Using a 19mm socket, we're going to remove our wheel. Have a good hand on that wheel. We're going to remove our wheel. Using a 13mm line wrench, we're going to loosen up our brake line. We're not going to lose that much fluid because we have our brake pedal pressed, but we do have a drip pan below to catch any fluid that does come out. Once you get that loose, you can switch to a regular wrench, 13mm as well, and take it out. Once you loosen up that brake fitting, you're going to pull it out of the hose and set it aside. We're going to pull this out of the bracket and let it drain into that bucket, if there is any. And now we're going to move on to this bolt that's on the caliper. Using an 11mm socket, we're going to remove this bolt. Again, you're going to need a drip pan below. Then remove the bolt completely. You are going to have two washers. Make sure that you see both, because sometimes they get stuck to the caliper and you got to pick them off. Ours does not. I see one there and one on the inside. I'll let that drip and take our hose out of the bracket on our strut. Now we're going to remove our hose from the bracket using a pry bar. I did put some penetrant oil on ours since it's so rusty. So if yours is too, you can too. It helps ease taking it out. We're going to line up our hose for where it goes and make sure it's in the bracket here for the strut, and just slide it in. Don't lose your washers on the other end. And push this up through just to get it ready. Now we're going to insert our bolt. Make sure your washer is on this side and also on the other side. And you can get that bolt started. Make sure your surface is clean also before doing this. Sometimes some rust can get in there or debris. You don't want that in your brake fluid. I'm just going to snug this up and then torque it to 30 foot-pounds. The new brake hose bolt is 10mm socket, and we're torquing it to 30 foot-pounds. Let's feed our hose up through the bracket, and now we're going to start our fitting into the hose. Make sure it's threaded in there properly and it's not cross-threaded. Sometimes these fittings get stuck on the little plastic film on the line, so you might need a wrench to get it going. It's like a coating on these lines. Once you get it started, you're going to tighten it all the way down and snug it up. Once you got it snug, you're going to use your line wrench and tighten it down. Make sure you use some brake parts cleaner and clean up the area. Let that air dry. All right, now we've done our work, so we're going to release our brake pedal. So now we're going to take our bleeder screw cap off and use a 10 millimeter and loosen up our bleeder. You may need to add some penetrating oil if it looks rusty. I'm going to loosen that up. Take my wrench off so we can see what's happening. I got a drip pan below, and we're going to wait. So now we're watching to make sure there's no air bubbles. Let it drip. I'm not seeing any. It's a steady stream, so now I'm going to close it down. Tighten it up, clean the area, let it air dry. Make sure you put your bleeder screw cap back on. And now you're going to hop in the car, pump the brakes a few times, make sure that pedal's right at the top, and it doesn't feel spongy. If it feels spongy or falls a little bit, you're going to have to do a full brake bleed procedure. Install your wheel. And get your lug nut started. We're going to start at the bottom and walk the wheel on. We're going to torque our wheels to 100 foot-pounds. We're going to do that in a star-like manner. First thing you're going to do is check your cap, make sure there's no dirt, and remove it. You're going to want to use some needle nose pliers or something like this and remove the filter. Just make sure you don't poke a hole in it. And now we're going to siphon out our old fluid using one of these. After you siphon that out, you're going to put your filter back in. Make sure it's sitting in there right. Now we're going to fill this up to the max. Make sure you use whatever the manufacturer recommends for brake fluid. Our cap says .3. Fill it up to the max. The max line is on the other side, so you're going to have to look around the corner. And now we're going to put our cap back on. Make sure it's clean. To bleed the brakes, the sequence is the right rear, then the left rear, and then we're going to pause and check our fluid and top it off at the master cylinder. And then we're going to go to the right front and then the left front. We're going to begin our brake bleed procedure. We're at the right rear wheel. I have somebody in the car that's going to help me by pumping up the brake and then holding it when I open up the bleeder, and we're going to bleed the brakes. I'm going to use this to catch my fluid. I recommend doing the same or have a drip pan below. I'm going to put that on. You pump it up. He's holding. I open the bleeder. It's to the floor. I'm going to close it down. As we're doing this, we're watching for air bubbles in the line. And we're waiting for it to be clean and air-free. Pump it up one more time, please. He's holding. And I don't see any bubbles. You to the floor? I'm going to tighten that down. I'm going to clean it off. You can release. Put our bleeder screw cap back on. And now we're going to move on to our left rear. So now that we're done our other wheel in the rear, we're going to top off our master cylinder. Make sure it's to the max line. And now here we are at the right front. Pump it up, please. He's holding. I'm going to remove my bleeder screw cap. It's to the floor. I'm going to pump it up. It's to the floor. I'm going to tighten that up. I'm not seeing any air. We're going to clean it off and put back our bleeder screw cap. And now we're going to move on to our left front. So here we are back at the master cylinder. We're going to remove our cap, top off our fluid. Make sure you use whatever the manufacturer recommends for brake fluid. Our cap says .3. Fill it up to the max line. And you can put your cap back on. Make sure you check your brake pedal. Make sure it's at the top and nice and hard and not squishy. If it's squishy or falls to the floor a little bit, you're going to want to do the entire brake bleed procedure all over again.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.